A little job for Eeyore. So we've got a new set of forks, yokes, brakes, the lot. I need to get rid of those moments when I'm roaring along and suddenly there's some undulations in front of me and I just brace myself and bang goes the suspension. Now, it doesn't need to be much better, and ideally it would be nice if it was CRF, because obviously I am fully sort of CRF'd up, if you like. So I'm going to see if it works anyway. I'm going to whip it all off and see if I can make it fit. My motorcycle guru, Erik, the god of motorcycles, seems to think we can do it. So I won't bore you with all the ins and outs of taking all this shit off. Right, everything's stripped out, everything's out the way, and I've discovered I only need the one bearing. I couldn't get a local bearing. They just don't have one that size. So I had to go and get one from David Silver Honda, the Pucker original bearing. So I have tapped the outer race in already. I've warmed the head up, cooled the bearing outer race down in the freezer, and I've had to put a spacer on underneath because the headstock is a bit longer. So I've got you really need a lot of grease on here because you've got to hold these ball bearings into place and then get it in. But there's still a little bit of jiggery pokery to do because I might have to pack the top out, which I hopefully won't. I've also put a grease nipple in, which is the right time to do it when there was no bearings in there. So that's all ready to go. So I'm going to get the ball bearings on, and I've got a brand new bearing, not cheap. I'll tell you now, it weren't cheap. Won't go into that. Now this is the dodgy job, this. So I've got to try and get all of those around there without losing any. So take your time, Paul. Don't really want to be dropping this. I should have done it in the kitchen really while she's not here. And but this stuff is fairly sticky, so hopefully I won't drop too many of them. And here comes number 18. There should be a little bit of play in there, yes. Oh, look at that. Now the hard bit is getting it into the headstock without losing anything, but they look like they're fairly well stuck. I've got the seal underneath, all ready to go. I've got to get that in there without dropping shitloads of stuff. There we go. Right, so got the bottom bearing in, put a spacer in. Can't put any more spacers in there because that will be off the shaft or where it should be. And that left the bearing cover, which I want to use. It should come over, but with the thread finishing here, it gave me a bit of a dilemma, so I could only go down so far and then it would leave a gap. So what I done, I filed the thread off, so now I can put that down, and still a little bit of thread short, but with one spacer and then the CRF nut, it works. Perfecto. So that is lovely, that is perfect. I've just got to tighten that up. Next job, just lightly put everything back together, put the tank on, so we can then decide where the stops have got to go. Right, well, it's another day, and this time the sun is shining, so we're going to get outside and finish off eel. And the stop, I have fabricated the Dawlish stop I'm going to put that on there and show you how that works. Right, so what I've done, I've made a bracket up which will hold all the everything, the lighting, and the stops are here, and there's already a couple of castings which I can bolt into, and at the top there's two as well, so I've made good use of those. So the best thing to do is to get everything in position, put it all in loosely, then tighten it all up when it's done. Okay, so now we can see how the stops work. There we go, full up that way, and it's cleared the tank. Okay, and the same the other way. Right, that just leaves my favourite job. Ew. I've done the wiring, squashed all the wiring up front, and it's all in here, 3 platefuls of spaghetti, and I've raised the back about 1.5 inches, I think. So so all that leaves is a little test ride. Oh well, the weather's a bit shit, but it'll do. Had a lot of rain the last couple of days. Shame really, I wanted to ride these bumps. I'm not going to get wet. Definitely an improvement anyway. Oh yeah, yes. So with this current setup, the new forks and the harder raised rear, harder spring on the rear, it seems pretty damn good, to be honest. Yeah, some of these little holes would be agony before it would just bang bang. Yeah, I think the back spring, it's not particularly hard, but it's quite long, so there's not a lot of room for sag, you know. But I might just try another spring. Well, the CRF 250 forks really worked well. I rebuilt them. They were never brilliant on the CRF 250L, but on this little bike they're working a treat, and they're rebuilt exactly to standard. Thanks for watching. Ride on and ride safe.